That's good enough. Hey, how's it going, everybody? We are hanging out working on Linux today. Let me make sure my sound is good so you guys can hear me. Yes. And then let me make sure that you guys can also, while we're hanging out here, see the... You guys can see all that stuff going. Oh, nope, gotta pull that up. That's not spinning right now. There we go. That's better. You guys can see that spinning now too. And yeah, we'll hang out and work on system stuff. And you guys are welcome to, ask or talk about whatever you want around the systems world. And, oh, wait, no, that messed up a little bit. I need to fix this screen a little bit. Let me fix this so you guys can actually see. There we go. There we go. That looks good. All right. So I am going to be working on some other stuff as we are hanging out. So you guys are welcome to ask me questions or kind of see what's going on. But we'll be doing some Linux. The Linux questions will be in the top left. That's the Socratic method of learning Linux. Then we've got all of the different information over here on the right. And then where were we at? We were in general system stuff. So now we're going to go through that. From the cuckoo's egg? That's awesome. I didn't know that. No. I think that's pretty great. I'm going to make sure that I can see how the game is going in my one window because I also like to watch this game play. So other than that, we will kind of run through stuff. How's it going, Less Than T? Yeah, I'm working on stuff over here on the side while you guys are going through general Linux if you want. I've got a bunch of lab stuff. I got so much labs to put together today. So I will be doing that while you guys are doing what you're doing over there. Make sure I can move that down. Good. All right. So if you guys have questions or you got anything that you're working on, feel free to let me know. All right. You're searching for missing disks. Yeah, that's never fun. That's never fun, going through some kind of tool and trying to figure out what's giving you a problem, or yeah, it's always fun. All right. We will sit over here and we will work on all the things. All right. Yeah, Mangler, you're always welcome to lurk. Lurking is the backbone of Twitch, so you're welcome to just kind of hang out. And I mean, I'm basically lurking in my own stream while I work on other stuff. So this is what I'm doing right now. In fact, I have to start all the way at the beginning of this to go through some of this. Yeah, so can you tell how the system was booted by Grub? Do you guys all know how that works? And I should be able to see all your chat. Good. Yep. You guys should also be able to see your own chat, so that's always good. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about any of this stuff as we kind of keep going. This is kind of a continuation of yesterday, so we just kind of kept going right along with what we were working on. So, all right, I'm back to my labs. All right. All right. So this question, can you tell me how many versions of the kernel you have available? Okay. That's an interesting one. So we're down to there. All right. If you guys have any questions or you're just lurking, you guys can let me know. I'm mostly just kind of hanging out here and working on other stuff. Oh, you know what? Let me put this thing behind the other stuff. So I need to put... I don't know why my ticker isn't in front of that. YouTube chat can go further back. Strange behavior for sure. Alright, well, I'll figure that out later. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that much. Well, I do kind of want to figure this out, but hold on, let me move it back behind the ticker. Okay, that looks a little better, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I just was wondering why my ticker wasn't in front of something, but I guess it kind of makes sense with where it was, so okay. I guess my ticker normally sits in front of most things, but I don't want to put it in front of the other one because then you won't see the progress bar going. So, all right. Can you show me that the SSHD process is running? And then can you show me how it was started? It's an important set of steps, right? Knowing how the process started for SSHD on a system. Where do you see most network devices in? Okay. Devices, storage devices. All right. So. All right. But yeah, if you guys have any specific questions about the not the Ansible, but the questions that you're seeing there for the Socratic Ansible, just let me know. All right. Yeah, guys, it's a slow day. I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff, and I've got a lot of work to do, a lot of formatting stuff to do, a lot of training to build. And then I just found out that the training that I'm building is going to be used in at least two other projects, which is actually good. The more training your organization builds, the better they should kind of be at it. And since I'm a guy who's done training for adults for a long time, I kind of get to build the archetype for my entire company. So a lot of what I do, I wouldn't say mirrors back to what we're doing, but I mean, it definitely is similar to what we're doing in our Linux Systems Administration course, where I'm trying to give you guys some hands-on stuff and some, knowledge transfer, and then some hands-on stuff and some knowledge transfer, and just kind of keep working through that stuff back and forth, as we go. Yeah, what type of version are you on here as you guys are thinking about this, right? Like, what version of Linux? And by the way, you guys, if you're looking to do some hands-on while you're hanging out, you should hop into some type of session, some type of command line like I have over on the right, and I can pull that up if you guys need any explanation of this stuff. Just let me know. I am going to get up here and walk around in a second, though, grab some water, but I'm going to be around, so just ping me, let me know if you need anything. We'll hang out for a few hours, and then we'll go raid over to Fisherman, who's doing some pretty cool stuff. But I know he's been doing a lot of co-working as well, and I'd like to get you guys introduced to him, the ones of you that don't know him, because he's one of our senior guys, and he's one of the guys that I think people should be following. So, Atticus, how's it going? Yeah, it's all well with me. I feel like way better than I even did the other day, and we're just gonna keep rolling on, keep rolling on, keep working on stuff. Should be good. Let me keep going here. I am just plowing through a bunch of questions for I'm building these questions to make engineers think about this system that we're giving them. If we're not giving them, they bought it, but like they bought it from one of our we're a subcontractor to one of the bigger, actually, well, I can tell you the company, it's Dell. Dell built all the hardware, we put all the software, we made it into a high performance compute cluster, and now I'm building the run book. Well, even before that, I'm building the lab activities that they're going to use to build the run book, which I think is a distinction. Some people call it a distinction without a difference, but I'm taking all the knowledge that I have of making a run book, and I'm stripping it out and making them figure it out through my lab questions. So it's kind of a thought intensive process, but I mean, that's why I'm kind of hanging out with you guys while I do it, and then while I'm also showing you guys kind of what's going on over here on the left. Can we describe the 7 fields of the etc pass WD file? What are they? Does anybody know? It's username, right? And then there's we know that it is colon delimited. I'm probably spelling delimited wrong there, but it's colon delimited username, right? And then if we needed to check, right, because maybe our memory super blurry or something, we would come here and we would just head, or maybe we just tail etc pass WD, and we go look at it and we say, yep, it's that, and then it's the password. But X means something. X means that it's over in shadow because everybody can read etc pass WD, so that's not good. It's a user's ID, and that's the UID, and the primary group GUID. So it's the primary group GUID, and then we go over to a comment, and then we go to a home, and then we go to a default shell. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values. That's what's in the etc pass WD file, right? And you might say, Scott, that do I really need to know how to do that? Yeah, because if you want to populate that through an automated script, or you want to do anything more than just copy your Etsy Pass WD around. You do have to know how to modify that file. So that is a important. And this is the difference between administration and engineering. I tell people all the time, an administrator knows how to use their tools and they know how to keep the system running, and that's good. But the engineer knows why the things are the way they are, and they understand the components of a thing. So we become admins typically first in our careers, and then we kind of go from there. Now this one's a fun one. We did this one the other day. Can you show me all the unique shells that are in Etsy Pass WD? Okay, I will be back. I'm going to take a walk real quick. You guys keep hanging out and seeing what's going on. Oh, is that thing? Apparently that thing's not running if I'm not looking directly at it. So I'll go ahead and make sure that I keep looking at it. All right, we are doing everything and moving along as we go. So I will be back. Also, guys, we're on Friday, right? We made it all the way to Friday, guys. That's its own little value and benefit, right? But can you show me? Can we set one variable to export and one that is not? One that is exported and one that is not. Can we do that? And then can we prove it? Do we know how to prove it? This is what happens as administrators. You know, we have to be able to do things, and then we have to be able to show your work almost, if you want to think of it like that. Can we prove that what we're saying is true? I gotta go check this other thing real quick. Ah, I see. That's what's stopping it, when something goes in front of it there. But as long as I don't move it in front of it, that's fine. So, let me see if I can go into this Atlassian thing that I've got over here on this other page. Excuse me. So while we're chilling and jamming out here, I'm over here just like mashing through a whole bunch of labs and putting stuff together and hopefully getting enough work to keep these guys busy for 4 days. That's the goal. Lots of work going on. Lots and lots of work. So all right. But yeah, in general, I think everything's going good over here. I'm just trying to keep my process moving along, so I have a fair amount of labs ready for these guys, and I'm going to be giving them real physical lab books. So I want to make sure that I have a good amount of work in there for them. So. All right. All right. Connect to one of the devices, which will just say Anybody got big plans for the weekend? What's everybody got going on? Gotta imagine some of you guys are doing something fun. I am hanging out without my wife here, so that means that I'm not really doing much anything. Yeah, 80 quarts. Kubernetes is Kuberneting. That's true. Augustus, you're meeting up with some friends. Are you, Augustus? You're already off for the day, right? Because you're over on a different part of the world from me, right? I think you're already later. And then FPV Hex. Hopefully that works out for you. If you get anything interesting going, let us know in the home lab build out stuff. Because I think people get really motivated when they see other people do home lab stuff. So I think that's good. Gan, you're studying for the CC? Is that the CISSP basic one? Okay. Yeah. You know, Gan, I never finished it, but I actually have a basic little start of that cert study guide. I just never finished it. I need to get back around to kind of doing that. So that's good. Savage skills, I'm very good. I am working on training docs for people and getting people going. Oh yeah, Savage skill. I remember I used to work a 980 with Lockheed. It was a shorter Friday by 1 hour, 9-hour days, and then we had every other Friday off. That was one of my favorite work schedules ever. So you worked longer days. Your one Friday was slightly shorter, so that was cool. But then you would have a 3-day weekend every other Friday. Yeah, it was super. It was a super nice schedule. If I ever ran a business, I'd try to run it with that as well. The other cool thing, if you guys don't know, Lockheed Martin is one of the last companies on planet Earth that pays you every Friday. They don't make you wait 2 weeks. They don't do it the 1st and the 15th. They pay you every Friday, which is also another cool thing because then you would be off on one of your paydays. So that was always cool as well. Yeah, I loved that about Lockheed Martin. That was a great thing. Lockheed in general was an excellent company to work for, and I really enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah, 80 quarts. One of the guys was they were full on building out. They were 3D printing stuff and all that stuff. Yeah. Again, you're trying to register for the ISC squared, but they seem to have a traffic jam. Hey, did you guys know if you go down in our Discord, there's quite a few like conferences going on. I think they're even going on today. Let me go look in the conference channel. I know that we have. Let's see. We've got All Things Open is coming up, I think. We've got that one out for October 10th is already gone. Yeah, it looks like some of them are already done. There is a supercomputing one coming up in a couple of weeks, probably about a month. It's on the 17th to the 22nd of November. I'm not going to that because I'm actually going to give training out in Hawaii, so I'm not going to be there for that one. Let me keep doing what I'm doing here. Okay. And then all right. So, I'm down here in storage devices. What version of OFED are we running? That's always important to know, guys. If you've never done systems with InfiniBand, you need to know how your OFED drivers are running, how they're doing. Also, you need to make sure some of the modules. I'm asking them to find. So I'm building training over here. Like I said, guys, I'm having them find different values as they kind of go through. So I am, hold on, making them search through, and it's all good. It's all good fun, right? But it's also very valuable, I think. Yeah, so it sounds like we're having a productive Friday then for most people. Yeah, Quartz, can I tell you one thing if you're still around? One of the things that I've probably been asked more than anybody, probably more than any other thing that I've done in the 3 years I've been streaming, is people asking me, like, hey, can you just do like a start to finish full build out of the home lab? And the only reason I guess I haven't done it is because, I mean, I'm like the most vanilla guy. I've been an engineer a long time, guys. Like, I've worked with a lot of engineers. I know engineers that are creative in ways that I'm never going to be. I am like the most vanilla dude I know. Like, I am just, if like, I'm very good at the simple engineering things I do, but like my ability to be like a super creative, like dynamic engineer doesn't really, you know, spark any kind of great accolades or anything like that. But what I watch other engineers do really cool stuff. So like if I showed you guys how I build out a lab, it probably wouldn't be super interesting. Now, when I get done with this Linux systems administration course we're doing, we're going to turn over and we're going to do an engineering version of it. So with that, I will show you guys how I build systems, and I will show you how I keep things running and moving forward and stuff, and how we go through an engineering process. Because some people are going to want that, because some people already are systems administrators, and they want to go that route. But all that being said, I just haven't shown you guys how to do it because I'm like, you know, my lab is like an old Buick or something. It's just barely running. It's like, it's not some great thing to emulate. It's just kind of what my stuff is, you know. Yeah. So Quartz, I do need to. You're right. I do need to put that one together because my NFS Samba thing is probably one of the easier setup things, but it does have a couple little like proclivities that I think probably mess some people up and will stop somebody from doing it. But yeah, just the fact that I can just dump things right up into my environment and then be able to do them all. And a lot of that's born out of, you know, one of the first things that people come in here and say is they're like, oh, you're running Windows. And I'm like, yeah, I'm running Windows. But I'm going into Linux. Like, I do all my work in Linux, right? That's professionally all I do is touch Linux servers all day. That's what people pay me for. But I do interact with Windows to get there. And because of that, I've had to pull so many files and push so many things over the years that I have a bunch of ways to interact. And supporting Linux over all these years, I've had to interact with, I remember even back in like 2015. So this was only 9 years ago. I was still interacting with XP machines because the lab diagnostics equipment, the lab equipment was still running older Windows. So I had to be able to interact with them through Samba. So like a lot of the stuff I've run into is just stuff that I've kind of built to interact with the productivity tools of the time, you know. I tell you guys all the time, like a good engineer, I don't think it matters what he's working on as long as he can get to his command line. As long as he can get to his Linux boxes, he should be able to make anything work, right? I don't get caught up if I'm in Vim or NeoVim or Emacs or whatever. I'll figure out how to move around in Emacs if I need to, but you know, for the most part, I just use VI for everything, right? I'm pretty vanilla in that respect too. All right. So I'm over here. We're looking up InfiniBand modules and making sure that stuff's good. And then end time of this. So system Hey Killa, how's it going? We are just not working too hard, and we are just kind of sitting around messing with stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna put that. Let me put that in my notes here. Do you know where a user's home? What is this question? Hold on. Do you know where the user's default home directory files populate from? Yeah. Do we all know where that is? If we haven't seen that before, can we figure that one out? Guys, also let me know if I fall too far behind on my notes. I'm not really watching that screen as much, so let me know if I'm like way behind over there. Killa, I'm 100 times better. I've slept and ate since then, and I've been getting a lot of work done, so that's kind of important. So I'm getting into these different devices here and connecting. So IB_stat and IB_status are two different commands that will tell the speed and connection. All right. Yeah, and Killa, we're not working too hard. We're just kind of, I mean, that's kind of a theme of a lot of what we do, right? We're not working too hard. So we're just kind of hanging out, and some people are doing Socratic Linux if they want to. Some people are just talking and doing whatever. Put a movie and finish some schoolwork. Nice. What movie, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'm always trying to find good, find good horror movies, but nothing scares me. So, I guess the only thing that scares me is growing old, right? Being an old infantryman that's lived past his purpose. That's the only thing that I guess scares me. Sure that's not true of everybody, but that's true for me. All right, so let's see. I am looking at storage devices still. I need to check. So how did Harry Potter? Nice. Yeah, that'd be a good one to kind of... The wife wants me to rewatch them all with her. Fun fact, I had never seen all the Harry Potter until me and my wife got married. She made me watch them all with her. I had only ever seen the first 3 or so. I read the book, the first book, back in like '99, and then I never really stuck with it, you know, because I was in the Army at the time, so it's not like I went out and looked for them. And then I just kind of hung out, and that's kind of funny, yeah, because now that I think about it, I watched those when I was home. We had a Christmas break from basic, and I went to North Carolina with my friend from the Army because I didn't want to go back home because, a long story, but if anybody here knows what a Dear John letter is, who here knows what a Dear John type letters? Yeah. So Killa, fun fact, I did not know what a Horcrux was. I had one of my best friends in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has Horcrux on like the back of his license plate, and I was always like, oh yeah, man, like him and his wife like Disney, and they just had their first kid, but this was when he was still just like a young dude that had a young wife, and they used to go to Disney a lot, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, whatever they like, because I had no idea what a fucking Horcrux was. And then I finally watched them all. I was like, oh, I know what the story is now. Yeah, Killa, I get it. I like something on in the background too. I'm doing a lot of work right now while I'm talking to you guys, in fact. So, So yeah, I'm just checking out storage devices. I'm actually having them just check out these devices and go see what's going on. Look for failed units on startup. That's going to be system CTL list units state equals failed. And if you guys have never seen that command, that's a fun little command that it lets you know like kind of how healthy a system is. Lets you know if anything's busted on it just right out of the gate. And then I'm going to check the service. Check on system CTL grep-i weka, and then system CTL cat weka, and then we're going to say how did those start and how well are they working. Oh shoot, I gotta go back to my old font. Test. Oops. This. Format. Back to this. Alright. What? So Killa, you can't work inside. Yeah, I get that, Killa. I'm very strange in that like I can work with nothing going on, but I feel like I'm more productive when I'm kind of hanging out with people. Sean Ryan's podcast, nice. I don't think I know who that is. What's the context of that? Is that a workout type one? I don't know what Sean Ryan's is. Probably one of the more popular ones, I imagine. Oh, this one up here right now is a new one. I hadn't done this one before in the notes. The question that's up right now. Can you check if an Ubuntu user exists? Can you verify that the user John was never a user on this system? And can you for sure tell me it was never on the system? Or is that something that's lost forever? That bottom one is not a trick question, but it is an important question. Can you verify for sure that that user never existed? Or is there no way to know that? That's an interesting question in Linux, right? That's an interesting question in all systems. Can we ever do, any of this stuff? Yeah. Are any services broken? What do you think? Oh no, we broke that page. Reload. There we go. We're back. We're back. Our save file held. That's good. Yeah, Killa, I appreciate it, man. Lurks are like the best thing around, right? Like lurks are just good for everybody. Keeps the numbers up, makes more people interested in what we're doing, which is getting into systems and understanding how systems work. So that's what we do. Also, thanks for the follow, Craftniak. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Although right now we are just messing around in Bash for the most part. Bash and just command line Linux stuff. Move this down just a little bit. There we go. All right. Top left, you have questions that are going, which are our Socratic Linux questions, meaning you get asked, like, can you do a thing, and do you know how a thing works? And then you answer to yourself, no, hell no, I don't know how that works, and then you go figure it out. Or you look at my answers in the notes at the bottom left. So top left is the question, bottom left is what's going on, and then the top right I can show you guys if you have any questions about it. Bottom right, don't worry about all that stuff. That's just that's stuff that's going on, right? And then I'm over here doing labs on a different screen because this is a co-working. I'm not actually working super hard right now. So I'm having them connect to a device. Connect, oops. So SSH admin at rack. Oops. What version of the OS is running? There we go. So yeah, if you guys have questions or if anything's coming up, let me know. Is there a list of Linux commands a user should memorize? Atticus, now I wouldn't memorize. I try to emphasize, like, it's not necessarily a memorization thing. It's more of a understanding situationally what's going on. But if there were three that I wanted you to memorize, it would be PWD, CD, and LS. It would be these three right here. PWD, CD, and LS. Those ones are. I've joked for a long time as a college professor. We would always do these. I'd always do these intro Linux classes at either ITT Tech or then later now at DeVry, where I've taught at DeVry for almost 10 years now. But what I would do is I would always joke around about how if you I'd always just kind of make the jokes about. Sorry, I was thinking about something for a second there. Got me off track in my head. But I would say at the end of my 11-week course, if I could at least get my students to do those three things, I would feel like I was successful. But the thing is, here's the thing, right? If you teach, and these are going to be numbers that I'm pulling out of years of doing this, I think if you teach 100 people Linux, right? If 100 people sit down in a generic college class, they all want to be engineers, right? They're in an engineering program, probably network engineering or systems engineering, right? Maybe business, but business has some technical aspects. So they take a Linux engineering course, and I have 100 people come in that want to do Linux. What I've found is this. Of that 100, probably only about 10 of them is going to be interested in Linux. So the other ones are just like, I got to do this course. I got to whatever. So really, again, if I can get them to PWD, CD, and LS around in a system and not feel uncomfortable at the command line, I really do feel like I've won something there. I do. If they can't do that, then, obviously, I don't think I failed them. I think that they needed to study more. But that's one thing. The second thing is, of those 10 people that like it, I'd say only one or two of them are actually good at it. And that's not to say that they all couldn't be better at it. It's just they don't want to. I don't want to say they don't want to. Some people don't want to live at this black background with green or white letters like you see in the top right there. Not everybody wants to just be able to move around that way. A lot of people want to be able to do all of the work that they need inside of their people want to do stuff, click next, finish, next, finish, which is the life of a certain groups. So, Windows admins for sure, right? So anyways, hey, Fixit42, thanks for the rating party of 2. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Hopefully this is useful to anybody that's kind of hanging out. You guys are welcome to hang out. You guys are welcome to hop down in the Discord if you guys want. On the Twitch side, it's !Discord. On the YouTube side, it's down under the description. So, yeah, I live in the terminal, Ramon. I literally just do command line all day. And you guys might say, well, Scott, but I don't see you doing a lot of command line right now. Yeah, you guys don't see me working on my other screen, but I'm pulling stuff out of my command line and throwing it into a Google Doc for this big training thing that I'm doing. So, big training stuff, lots of kind of important stuff going on. How many gateway devices do you see? Lab storage devices, so we've got all these storage devices. That's out of there. All right, I probably could add more to that, but that's fine for now. And then my next one, I'm going to find the command line pushes the mind to create a mental map of a system. GUI is lazy. Yeah, Atticus, that could be a way to put it. I always kind of liked, and this also is true for streaming, if anybody ever wants to get into streaming, there was a guy named C.S. Lewis. Most of you know him for some of the books he wrote and some of the things, but most of his books came from radio programs he had done, and then they were transcribed down later, if you guys didn't know that. But C.S. Lewis used to call radio theater of the mind, and I always liked that way of thinking about it. Like, as you're doing something in a system, can you kind of close your eyes and look at the theater and see the stage and what are all the players doing and all, where am I at in the system and where do I need to move as I go? Yeah, Fix It. I appreciate you coming by. I hope you had a good stream, and thanks for the raid and run. It is Friday, so you're welcome to do that. I'm going to raid and run here in a few hours. I'm hanging out and working with stuff, so I'm staying busy. But I do want to raid out to fishermen later because I really think a lot of you guys should meet fishermen. In fact, if you're not over there, you guys on Twitch, you guys probably could just jump over there now. Just leave me and go jump over there. The water's warm. Here, I'll give him a shout out. He is always doing some fun little technical stuff. And that was C.S. Lewis's way of putting it. So don't think that's mine. But he called it theater of the mind. Yeah. The ability to just like if I said, hey, close your eyes and I'm going to tell you a story, can I tell you it in such a way? Because I don't have visuals, right? They didn't have visuals over the radio back then. And, we don't have visual. Like right now, even now, like I'm trying to give you guys, a look at some of the stuff. And then, the pit of the shell, you're in there. Okay. And then kind of, explain things to you and explain how things work. Just put a link to my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel. I followed you from YouTube. Yeah, Craft Mick, I probably should do that. I'm not... Oh, Paul's there, man. Guys, I've known Paul for a long time. Paul's back with the Prime. Paul's been with me since the beginning, man. Paul's one of the original guys. And he's been a part of the Professional Linux Users group for years before I ever started streaming. He's just kind of come and hung out and done Linux with us. So Paul's one of my local Phoenix buddies too. So yeah, Paul, how's everything going as well? As much as you can tell us about the work that you do. Are you still working on the old projects and stuff? So yeah, Atticus, yeah, for sure. I tried, my wife loves, man, I know so many people that love audiobooks, and I've got nothing against them, but I just have not been able to get into them. I've tried, um, and I just have not been able to dig in um, too deep. Oh, by the way, so let me I need some more lab stuff here. So let me connect to a device, what OS is running, and then I gotta say, show the running configuration. Dev Suthar, how's it going over on the YouTube side? Yeah, we're just kind of hanging out, Marataya, I've been doing Bash for 20 years. I'm okay at it. I wouldn't call myself like the best, but I can point you to some really good people at it. I'm probably high. If you put 0 to 10, I'd probably put myself a solid 8, maybe a high 8, low 9. I'm pretty good at Bash scripting. I don't do Bash programming. I could introduce you to people that do Bash programming as professionals. One of them that comes to mind is Sending Grounds. Other guys that are real good at Bash programming in our Discord are like Michael Pessa and some of the other guys. So, how to add number suffix to duplicate lines in a file with .sh. Yeah, Marataya, I'd need to see like an example of what you're kind of asking. But did you know down in our Discord we've got a whole channel for that? Yeah, I've been doing Linux for over 20 years now, professionally, yeah. And I've been teaching it for about 16 years, networking and Linux and systems and stuff, yeah. Yeah, lots of time doing stuff. What's this question back here? Can you create 100 files? And then you guys can see that the answers are below there as you're kind of working through this. So show running config. So can they show the running configuration? And then all right. Show the running configuration on a switch. That should be show all active interfaces. Okay. All right. All right. Cloud IDE like Coder? I've never messed around with Coder. I know that a lot of the cloud services in AWS were just discontinued. Well, they're not discontinued. They just aren't bringing in any new customers on the AWS side with some of that stuff. Give me a second here. Show IP int brief. So All right, so format my stuff. I am building out labs, guys. That's what I'm doing in my other window. You guys are hanging out and either answering questions or just chilling. That's what you guys are doing. They say we are not infrastructure as a service. Is that IaaS, infrastructure as a service, but somehow configuring code is on their server. Interesting. Just recently started learning Bash. Have access to O'Reilly, where I found Sander Von underscores for RHC. So far looks interesting. Porbert, can I show you something real quick? Can I pull up one of, I think the best way to start working in Bash, if you want, is if you go to Killer Coda. This is a free site. I'm going to link it to you guys here. It is a 100% free site. I maintain about 60 labs up there, but other people also have Linux labs. So this guy right here, Powell Piawaz, is not me. I'm Scott. I'm a different guy. There's all of his stuff, right? And you say, well, how good is this site if you're not familiar? You drop right into a shell right here. Look at this. You are at a command line right there. That quick. And then you can go through and you can do his lab, and he'll ask you questions and make you do stuff right in a command line terminal for 60 minutes. And every lab environment is 60 minutes for free. And then if you restart the lab, you just get a new lab. I've been using it for almost 3 years. I've been building labs out there, and they cost people nothing. I've never been charged anything, never anything. My labs are on there at Tanis. I can link you guys my labs if you want. I have a bunch of Linux labs as well as, so I have 27 Linux labs and 21 Ansible labs. So if you guys are looking for free, like getting in the command line and getting your hands on these systems, I really do believe is the best way to learn this. Building your own home lab is a good way to start that. But again, like, I know it's in the bottom right here because I'm doing something else in this window, but I just wanted to show you that this is something that you could start to do. And my labs all start with, you are a new systems administrator at a company. You've been tasked with finding out information about a set of servers. What is the release and what is the version of the, so cat Etsy Splat release. What type of server am I on? And uname-r tells me about the kernel, and I can find all these things out that are important. So I think that's an excellent place to start if that's something that interests you and you want to get more hands-on. And it's, again, for the best price ever, free, right? If you like that and you dig into that and that is useful to you, I also have a book. But the book is only, I tell people the book is the only thing around here that costs anything. And I always tell people, go spend your time for free on there for a few hundred hours. Just go spend your time on there first. And then if you want to get the book, get the book. The book's not even that big of a deal in the big scheme of things. It's a place to log out and think more. I basically have like some digging deeper on my labs. But you could literally spend over 100 hours on that site well before you ever did anything like that. And that's what I would tell you. I would tell you, before you tell me, hey, I love Linux, I want to do Linux, right? Not you, not you, Pabro, but in general. Before anybody told me they loved Linux, I want to spend money, I would say, go spend 100 hours on that site for free. All you spend is your time for a month or two, and tell me that you really love doing it, and then I tell you what to go spend money on. But don't, like, this is in general, don't go spend money up front. There's way too many things that are free before you go spending money on stuff. So, all right. And with that, I got to get back to my labs here. So, Mac, show where things are connected in. Show MAC address table. Address table. All right. Yeah, Paw Bro, look, I've been running this group for over 10 years, 5 years online, 3+ now as a streamer. The goal is to get you guys doing this professionally. Everybody that is here, probably hanging out with me for more than 5 minutes, does some type of command line. But a lot of us are hobbyists, a lot of us do this for fun. But there's a lot of stuff you could go do and get just it's a little push to get the skills to go be a pro. And then now you're making money at it, and it could absolutely I would tell you guys, like, I have an engineering degree, my undergrad, and one master's that I have. I have two masters, but one of them is in engineering. And that probably helped change my career path. But Linux, I only had one class in college on it, and it has completely changed probably the type of engineer that I've been, because I was a network engineer before this. It's changed so many things. It's made me a lot of money. It's a very lucrative field. And even the people that are pretty close to you, like your managers and your project managers, they still think you're just casting fucking magic missile. They don't know what you do. They think you're a sorcerer. Even when you try to explain it to them, you just watch their eyes gloss over and they slowly sit back in their chair like you're choking the life out of them. They don't want to learn it. They're not going to learn it. It's a lot of job security. But anyways, so yeah, you guys can do this stuff professionally. So all right. I'm co-working technically, so I probably shouldn't even be talking as much as I am, but let's yeah, showing users and connections and some other stuff. Okay. Let me undo that. I don't want to make that change. All right. Already working as remote support, but wanted to expand my knowledge and need money as well. Yeah, that's I'm telling you guys, like, this is a good vehicle for which you can, and I hate to be the guy that always quotes movies, but I do quote movies a lot. But if you guys ever saw Knight's Tale, where he's like telling him, he goes back and he tells his dad he changed his stars, and I think about that sometimes. Like, I know a good number of people who didn't do any college, didn't really get anything, but they absolutely changed their overall, like, life, quality of life, and like what they could afford for their family and all kinds of stuff just by getting into this stuff. One of my brothers, I'm not gonna tell you guys which one because I have 4 brothers. One of my brothers, he didn't finish school. He didn't love it, but he makes really effing good money in Linux and in that space. Actually, he's moved over. I'm trying to get him to come talk to you guys here. I've had a few of my brothers come talk to you guys, but this is a different one. And he's changed. He would tell you getting into Linux and systems world is one of the best things you can do, because it like changed everything around Fire Hazard. Your network engineer shifting into system administration, really want to do a little bit of things like scalability, infrastructure, and code automation techniques. Yeah, Fire Hazard. I tell everybody, if our place isn't the place for you, go find somewhere where there's good engineers and good people talking. I will always tell you guys that we've got a Discord. It's free. I'm never, like, there's a monetization thing on Discord, but I'm never going to do any of that stuff. Like, all the monetization I really have on here is like the ads stuff, right? But anyways, Discord's always going to be free. You guys can hang out down there, and we just passed 3,000 people on there. So we have some memes on there and some jokes about, like, oh, now we finally know we're a big deal or whatever. So we're slowly becoming a big deal as we kind of go. So that's kind of funny. All right. Let's see. Show IP in brief. Show all this stuff. Let me add another insert more horizontal lines. So I'm using horizontal lines as these, like, when people do like responses almost. So let's see, my table of contents is 10 pages, and now I've already blasted it down to 12 pages. So it's getting, or not, the table of contents is not long. My whole doc is now 12 pages, so that's getting pretty good. All right, need to go down into the software section. Bring in the Weka people, storage, software. Yeah, fire hazard. I don't know how long you've been around, but I was also a network engineer to start too. And I tell people like I just didn't love network engineering, man. Like it wasn't for me. I ended up kind of going the route of systems engineering and systems administration, and the network engineering was so big. In fact, one of the reasons I have networking courses and stuff that I show you guys, for free on here. There's YouTube videos of it for free. And the reason I have so many of those is because nobody runs a Linux server to just be like, hey, I'm running a Linux server. And then no company says, we finally passed the threshold of we run 1,000 Linux servers. Nobody does that. They run 1,000 Linux servers to do business processes and applications on top of them to make money. And literally every single one of those 1,000 servers is touching a network. So networking is tremendously important. It would be like if you said, hey, Scott, I know everything about a car. And I'd be like, all right, well, let's take it on the street. And you're like, whoa, 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 I don't drive. I'd be like, well, why? And you're like, well, because I don't understand the streets. And I'd be like, well, look, man, like you've got this car. And I guess in the U.S. anyways, you could drive it on your own property all you want. A lot of people don't know, you don't need to register a car to drive it on your own property. You don't need to register a car at all. You need to register a car if you want to put it on the streets, right? So it's the same thing with systems. Every system ever is going to touch the network in some way. So we need to get in there. Yeah, fire hazard, man. Look, if you're already in there consuming and being one of these guys that learns stuff on their own, that's excellent. So yeah, just and I have a few little primer type things on that we sometimes talk through, which is like how to excel in the engineering field after college. But then I have it cross off after college and say for anyone, because again, if somebody didn't go to college, they could at least still be kind of good at this. Okay, hold on, I gotta go move this down a little bit. Can you test where are we at here? Can you test a variable against a known value? Can you test a variable against a known value? I feel like I've maybe gone too far. There's the can you test a variable against a known value. Did you guys need to see some of those notes earlier? I probably could skip back a little bit unless you guys have been moving along. I'll go ahead and just move that down. Can you test a variable against a known value? If test shell equals bin bash, right? And that test methodology that I have there in the notes, it's on the bottom left there. You could also, instead of using square brackets for test, you could write the word test where the first square bracket is. I don't like it. It's too ambiguous and it's too hard for other people to support. So we do have a lot of scripting tricks down in our Discord for people that are down there. There's a bash and scripting trick section, and if you go in there and ask questions or want to know stuff, there's some guys that lurk around in there that are really good at bash that would help you out. So I need to get Sending Grounds back streaming, because when Sending Grounds used to stream, man, his stuff was so good on just some of those basic those basic little pieces of bash, especially bash, because he programs bash professionally, not just scripts. Yeah, fire hazard. Some of those skills, and you got to remember too, some people also learned things in the wild, so they never maybe had to configure that or work with that. When I tell people, once you start going over into the systems engineering side of things, you have to know how to set those individual pieces up. So what is a DHCP and what is a DNS and how does it work? DHCP, like I tell people, you don't necessarily have to be able to trace it back to the original bootp protocol and then tell me what port it's operating on when a system first comes up, and the fact that a server comes up and it doesn't know who he is, so he just throws a broadcast frame of all Fs at the layer 2. And people don't have to know all that stuff, but they should know that only one DHCP server should ever be responding on one network segment. That's for damn sure, because if you have more than that, you're probably going to have all kinds of problems, right? That kind of stuff. What do I think? Ansible and Terraform or Helm and Argo for platform stuff? I used heavily Ansible for the last 11 years, so I would be an Ansible guy. I got my Terraform certification 3 years ago, And then, fun fact, the day I got the cert, my company decided to move away from Terraform. And then Terraform is owned by HashiCorp, who went to a business source license with it last year in August, and it got kind of weird. So I've moved away from Terraform anyways, and then HashiCorp got bought by IBM. So I've kind of moved away from it slowly anyways. It is funny that Ansible and Terraform are owned by the same company, though. Helm and Argo I haven't played with much, but I do know you can go... Well, Helm, I guess I did some Helm for my Kubernetes when I got my CKAD. But Helm, you didn't really have to know it much. You just had to know how to like install something with it, so it was pretty easy. Argo, I haven't played with Argo, but I do know that Killer Coda has some good stuff for Argo if anybody wants to practice with it. But I haven't done that. Fire hazard, yeah, hard coding IPs into scripts. Oh man. Yep, that's fun. And then if DNS is ever down, then nothing works anymore. That's always fun. Well, I mean, in that case, DNS, if DNS is down, everything would still work. But yeah, if servers are changing, so it's weird. I work in high performance compute, so almost everything we do is static and very rarely changes. So we just statically assign everything. But that's kind of a design decision, because you could have dynamic stuff with all of the tools, XCat and Werewolf and all of these different tools that are out there. They have the ability to run DNS for you, but just a lot of people will make things. Yeah, hard coding IPs and blaming DNS. That's funny. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I'm going to take a walk real quick. I'm going to stand up, stretch my legs out, and then I'll be back. So, can you show all packages that have SSL in their name? Can you guys do that? Dpackage. Dpackage is if you're using a Ubuntu style box. It's RPM-QA if you're using a Red Hat style box. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a walk. Stretch my legs out. Oh, app list. Nice. That's a good one. All right, let me grab some water here real quick from the fridge. All right. So, can you show me when the system was last modified? I think we originally did these in Ubuntu style system, and it's varlog, yeah, apt, or if you're in Red Hat, it's varlog yum.log or varlog Might be DNF nowadays. I think it's still yumlog though. I guess, well, I got a brand new one right here. Hold on, I'll go check. So let's just go here. Rlog, and then, is it still yum? Nope. It's DNF log now. Yeah, so it is changed. This is a 9.4 Rocky box, which is basically back. It's basically what CentOS used to be. Very similar, anyways. So, all right, let me get some more lab stuff done while I'm over here. Monitoring. Alright. You're looking at Demian's Journal CTL man page at the moment. See if there's an easy option to tell when system software was last modified. Yeah, Journal CTL. I know journals roll every so often too. So depending on how long a system up, it might not have anything good. Because normally Journal CTL will just tell you, how services have started and that kind of stuff. But it may have that. I don't know. That would be a good thing to find. That would be a good thing to know. That's something I definitely don't know right off. So, network devices, start time, end time, connect to the devices, check out what's going on. Alright. So, and then we get to our storage devices, and then I got a lot of lab stuff to write, guys. Software calce, geez, that stuff. Let me move this out of the way for a minute. And if you were using a Red Hat style box, you would do RPM-QA and then search for calce. DNF list installed grep calce. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I didn't even think to use DNF for it. I always just use RPM. But which calce would also tell you, yep. Actually, did you guys know if you install calce in, if you go to Killer Coda and you put calce, wait, is this right? It puts it in user bin games, and user bin games is not in your user's path. So whenever we've installed calce to kind of mess around, one of the things I show is that users by default don't get that in their paths. So then that brings up the topic of how we adjust our default paths. And then we start to talk about the user dot files, right? And then we can start to break down because managing users and dealing with users is a huge part of a lot of this. In fact, let me pull up. We've got labs here, and I'm gonna pop the labs over here, and then I'll throw the labs up on the YouTube side of things as well. Just give me 1 second to pull up the YouTube stuff. Where is? All right, I don't know where it is, but maybe it's this one. Oh, I'm gonna drop this over here for you guys on the YouTube side of things, and I think that chat should come through there. Okay. And Fisherman's Labs, the reason I bring those up is Fisherman's Labs, if you go and look at those, they're really good on making you think about the kind of crap that a user's gonna do, because users will do weird stuff. And he makes you, his stuff is very much tuned towards like the day in the life, right? Day in the life of a systems administrator and what kind of tickets are gonna come in. And his labs don't help you. Like my labs walk you through everything and give you all the answers. His labs do not. His labs will tell you where to go look, but his labs do not tell you the actual answer to certain things. You have to go figure that out. So his labs are a different type of challenge than my labs. So those are for you to think about and maybe do. All right, where am I at here? Checking out Prometheus. So I want them to check out Prometheus in our environment. And so all right. What do we got here? Oh, I missed some follows. Thanks for the follow, Ternetsu. I was walking away from my system for a little bit when you probably followed, so I missed it. I apologize for that. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out and looking at system stuff. Can you see if you have container software available on your system? Can you check your container images? Oh, that's a good one. What container images might you have? Oh, and we're at the end. So we're at the end of this one. We don't have anything else for Socratic Linux. There we go. Local images, Docker images, Podman images, right? So check out Prometheus. Verify the server service is running. Verify the service is running. See how the service started up. cd to the correct directory. All right. Do we get the last one? Can you run a container on your system? Can you verify it's running? Can you verify the images downloaded there? So Docker images will show you what images you have. So that, I think that's the entirety of our Socratic Linux. So what we'll probably do is we'll jump over and we'll start our Socratic Ansible, because I don't think I've shown Socratic Ansible in quite some time. This one is a little more challenging, especially if you don't work in Ansible. But I will tell you that the Socratic Ansible stuff directly relates to the Socratic Ansible will directly relate to the labs that I've put together on installing Ansible, running Ansible, and all those kind of things. So if you want to get better at Ansible, we have quite a bit of resources for doing that, and hopefully get you better at working through that stuff. So, all right, let me close out this one, and I'm gonna add a new. So we'll add a new. Let me go get that Prometheus, or let me go get that right Socratic stuff real quick for Ansible. We'll start on that. That'll be fun. I need to also make sure that it's doing the right amount of speed compared to the other one. So give me a second here. I will have to do a little bit of magic. So let's get rid of that for a little bit. And it already jumped to learning. No, it's still on learning Linux. Okay, so let me switch that over by maybe just getting rid of that. Sure, save, whatever. That's all right. So learning Ansible through the Socratic method, and we got to go set up our transitions and say that after 3 minutes. So these ones are going to be a little longer because I had done 2:30 for those other ones. I'm going to have to go probably 3 minutes on these. I'm going to apply them to all slides, and then we'll start right here. So, learning Ansible through the Socratic method. This was done for the Professional Linux Users Group. It's, this is up in the Discord, as is the other one, as are all these notes down here. So anything you guys need, I tell you guys could join our Discord, grab everything out, and then run away like a cartoon villain. And while we would probably miss you a little bit, it's not going to hurt my feelings any, right? Like, my goal is to get you guys doing this stuff professionally. I can only help, obviously, the people who kind of want to get into this and get better at this. So so let me check. Oops. Control Z. Don't want to do that. Check. where. Do you have? All right. I want to make sure that's running, so we're gonna. All right. Insert a few of these. All right. I'm hoping this is running, but we've got to wait 3 minutes to find out. So other than that, I guess just jam out, and we're listening to. It's funny, you can like buy this stuff on Humble Bundle. Sometimes they'll have software bundles, and I just pick out all the chill music and throw it into a playlist. So that's pretty much what we listen to. Just our chill mix. It jumps between some different stuff. I have a few other mixes. I have a dark one. You guys want to listen to some scary stuff for Halloween? Halloween's coming up, right? And fun fact, I'm going to miss Halloween because I'm going to be in Hawaii for it. So I'm not even going to get to. I'll do my dark streaming stuff if you guys want. Does that sound fair? Because some of this music, I listen to it later and I'm like, it's just okay. But let's. No, actually, you know what? I take it back. Streaming dark has one thing that I haven't found out what it is yet, but it triggers some stuff. So let me leave that off for now. What I mean by triggers is it jacks up the. It always comes up as a content copyright violation, and it's like I have permission to use everything in there. You know, I bought it off a Humble Bundle. I have their little open. It's their whatever their licenses. I have the licenses for the things. It's just. There's no button to go push that. There's just a button to clip it all out. And I hate doing that because I don't really want this thing carving all the sounds and what we're doing out of everything. So, okay. Let me go see. I'm looking for werewolf data. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're just chilling. I'm working on lab stuff while we're going. So do all that. Now I need to come down here and say. Chris, so apparently in Debian they fully moved over to systemd and journal and logs for Debian 12 bookworm. Nice. This has broken my failed to ban service. Okay. Chris, you know, I actually kind of dread it a little bit in my home lab. I'm still on a CentOS 7 box for my jump box. So my primary jump box that you guys see and come through if you're doing our labs and stuff, because I have a whole lab environment that you guys can use. It's actually kind of funny if you... what was I thinking? Oh yeah, for that's a CentOS 7 box, and I'm gonna upgrade it soon to like a Rocky 9.3 box. So then we'll have a more updated, maybe more modern stuff. But then, what I always do when I upgrade things in an environment is I install a brand new one, and the new one comes up and gets tested, and then when we're ready, we just flip over the IPs, right? So when that one assumes the mantle of the P01 Jump 01 box, we will lose all the connections of people coming into my jump server for my home, but he will move in place such that the next connection will work, right? That's the goal. I will have tested already by then for sure, but the point is, like, I'm looking at, my fail to ban has to be rebuilt. A lot of my monitoring won't be too bad because Promtail just has to send logs off, Node Exporter just has to send logs off. Telegraph might be a little bit of a rebuild to get that going, but I haven't been doing a lot with my Telegraph service lately anyways. I've been doing so much with Prometheus, so yeah, so there's some interesting things. But yeah, it's funny when something comes up new or you update something and it breaks. And I don't know if I told you guys, but when I finally got off Ubuntu, because I ran Ubuntu all through college, I was one of these guys that was like, if you're not on Linux all the time, you're not a Linux guy. I've laxed that as I got older and better at my craft. You know, I don't really care what I'm in. As long as I can get to a terminal shell, I can do any work that somebody could ask me to, right? And that's there. I think there's a certain amount of hubris, but also like earned confidence in that like you know, because you've been doing this a long time, right? Well, anyways, where I'm going with that is where was I going with that? We got to update those systems anyways. All right, hold on, I got to check something. I'm working in my other lab and trying to talk to you. Let me do that same command over here. Data. Prometheus. Etsy. Targets. Okay. Broken your failed to ban. Good. I mean, it sucks that failed to ban's broken, but it's good that you've recognized it, right? Recognizing that there's a problem is the first step to a lot of this stuff. So, all right, let me go grab this, get my format painter, and start. Verify the service is running. This song is always fun right here. This one is also in a game called Mechabellum that I really like. If you guys haven't played Mechabellum, that's a fun one. Okay. God damn it. Alright. Format painter. Just get the stuff I want to format paint. Easy fix at the moment, including a jail.local. Oh, okay, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I always like when things fix themselves easier than us having to do them all by hand or going and rebuilding things. That's always a hassle. That's one of the most annoying things I think I've ever seen. Man, tell you what, Google Docs are fine sometimes, but they can also be kind of annoying. Let's see. Your data is being all right. That lab's getting a little better. Okay. Mechabellum's fun, man. Man, yeah, I Fire Hazard, my thing about Mechabellum is I've only played it against people online probably about 10 times. And I'd guess I'm probably about 6 and 4. I'm not like great or anything, but I play it all the time on just like the little against the bot, like on expert mode. And it's fun. If you guys don't know, Mechabellum's a little auto battler. And it just goes and it just runs through. This thing is not running, by the way. Hold on. So let me. Let's make sure that we have advanced slide, on click, start here, go forward. Also, this other thing is not running anymore either. Our little progress quest. So let's run that. And the Socratic method asks more questions per page, but I think it's still kind of valuable. Also, I can just move it. I guess I can just move it forward if we really need to. Okay, hold on. Let me keep working on this. So I go here, grab that format, drop it here. Targets. I didn't realize everything had stopped over there on my other window. But now everything should be back running again, so you guys are back. Oh, Chris, this is the bongo song again. Let me make sure it's the right one. Let me grab it for you, make sure I'm. Yeah, this one is called Down Tempo. Downtempo Serenade? Hold on, properties. Oh, Downtempo Serenity. So Serenity like the old. Yeah, this is a fun one, isn't it? So I had a buddy who was from Costa Rica, and he actually went back to Costa Rica. And when he went back, he gave my son a set of bongos that he had that were from Costa Rica. And like, look, I get it, man. I could just go buy a pair of bongos off of there or whatever. But like, it meant something, you know. It was. My son was really getting, when he was little, he was really getting into percussion instruments and getting better at. He wanted to be a drummer and wanted to do those kind of things. And my friend gave him those, and he would just sit around and just bang his little Puerto Rican bongos. I'll get a picture. I'll throw the picture up in Discord later. But fun fact, I've played piano my whole life, ever since I was a kid. And I'm mildly okay at it. I've played in some concerts and stuff when I was younger. And played for church and stuff when I was younger too. But like, fun fact, if you guys don't know, what type of instrument, so you know, obviously drums are percussion instruments. Does anybody know what type of instrument a piano is? What's the genre, like what does it fall into? Colchis, I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's one of the reasons I like raiding over to Sid Heresy so much, is he does a lot of music on his channel. He plays guitar. I played guitar most of my life too. He plays bass on the stream sometimes, which is he's a very talented musician. He's done music a while. Some of you guys know I raid over to Sid whenever he's on. He's pretty good. I need to, hold on, I'm gonna keep adding. I'm doing labs over here while I'm talking, but yeah, I definitely need to play my piano more. What I used to do most of the time is I would always just go to the library and pick up a couple of songbooks for Christmas, and then I would always, it is a percussion instrument, yeah, Echo. Solar powered, no, it's not a string technically. It's a, because of the hammer striking the strings, it is a stringed instrument, which is funny, but a piano is technically a percussion instrument because you're striking with hammers. So that's a fun thing that I guess like you would probably only know. Yeah, Colchis is right. Yeah, percussion and string. Yep. So yeah, it's definitely a percussion instrument, and a lot of people don't think of it like that because it's guys, I tell you guys all the time, like I gotta go here in a minute. I'm gonna go raid over to Fisherman, but I'm gonna tell you guys this: the way Linux works for engineers, in my mind, is the way that pianos work for musicians, and it goes like this. If you've ever known anybody that was in a band, if you ever knew anybody that sang or did any kind of music of any type, they almost always just sit around and noodle on a keyboard or a piano of some type. And that's their base for like all of, yeah, look, they might be a singer, they might be a guitarist, but I can almost guarantee you when they're in their lab messing around, they're on a piano or a keyboard of some type. And the reason I say that is because that's how I think of Linux. It's very similar to me for Linux, where we Linux can branch out to electrical engineering and what's on little industrial computers for IoT, and then Linux can also branch off into biochemistry, and then but engineering is there's such a good base for Linux and open source to go jump off into all these other things, and that's how I've always viewed like Linux as like the piano of engineering, if you want to think of it like that, without me being too like silly about it or whatever. But that's really kind of how I think of engineering in general. Like math and music are so close together. People don't realize, like, or some people do realize, but like being exposed to music and understanding the fourths and the fifths and you know, even higher than an octave and going into like ninths and 11ths and stuff, which are actually just going back around again, right? The tremendous amount of things that happen in chord generation and all this stuff is really, it's math. It's all math. Everything's in math. But anyways, okay. With that note, guys, I got to get this thing running. It's not running up there right. But let's do this. Let's go raid over on the Twitch side. We'll raid over on the YouTube side, guys. We'll just we'll come back around again. Oh no, you're over. Did he just raid? Oh no, that's the worst thing ever. Well, I guess we can do. Oh man. All right. Well then here's what we'll do. We'll put the stuff back up. And we'll just go echo and a meeting. Right, we'll just let this go. Yeah, Chris, I'll keep hanging out. I'll keep doing stuff. Although I guess let me give it a minute of trying to fix this real quick, because again, I don't know why this won't start properly. I'm gonna hit Control A and apply to all, and it's not on mouse click. It should just be after. You know what? It's probably because I had all of those. Okay. Let's give this one more shot, and then I'm gonna jump in my meeting here, and I'll do like I did yesterday. I'll turn off all my sounds and stuff, and hopefully that'll work better this time. This will work better than the last time. All right. I want to see how far my presentation has now gone. I was up to 12, and now I expect to be. I'm up through 13, so I'm getting more and more labs. Yeah, Colchis. Hopefully, yeah, I'll be around. I'm gonna be working when I get done with this meeting. I'm gonna be working on this all night. So I may be streaming most of it. Who knows? Also, interestingly enough, nobody's asked me about this other thing yet. I'll get that back running. So now we're on level 6, by the way, of a game I started playing. Man, I started playing that game 20 plus years ago, maybe. All right, I'm going to take a walk and grab some more water before this meeting. You guys behave yourselves. I'm going to be starting that meeting shortly. Yeah, Augustus, that's a game called Progress Quest. It has been around for a very long time, and it just plays itself. And my guy's name is Vaudrin. He's a Panda Man. His class is Slow Poisoner. He's gotten himself all the way up to level 6. He's over here on the right doing quests, and he's got an inventory. And when his encumbrance for his inventory gets full, he goes back and he sells everything, and then he buys better equipment. So his equipment is slowly getting better as we go, and all of his stuff. And it's just like the original, just it doesn't mean anything. It's just a generic generating. It's something to just sit around and watch when you're kind of doing other stuff. And I thought, you know, hey, people are hanging out. Maybe they want to watch something, have fun while we're, you know, that thing will just play. All right, I'm going to take a walk real quick, grab some water. I will be back, and then I'll be on my meeting. Hopefully that Socratic Ansible starts running. Yeah, it doesn't look like this thing is running over here. Let's go find advanced slide, transitions. We've selected all of them, everything over here, and we've said after 3 minutes. We went here, and we went forward one, so it should want to move forward. 80 quartz. I have so much work to do. I'm probably just going to be working on stuff all day, but maybe we might be able to squeeze one of those in. We'll see. All right, guys. I got to put everything here on mute. So I'm gonna do mute, and then I'm gonna do this meeting, and then I'll come back around. So. thanks guys for hanging out. And if we can get Fisherman back on later, I'm gonna go raid him. All right, let me put you guys all on mute, and I'll be back. Alright, I should be back. You guys should be able to hear me again. Let me check. Yep, everything should be good. Nezor, it's keeping you busy. Nice. And then Killa. Yeah, look, I mean, some of that stuff, it's like drinking like a fire hose. There's so many things you could go spend and go down. I mean, I'm really trying to just like pour a foundation for you guys to find stuff that's interesting to you, because I think you'll find the more interested you are in something, the easier it is to learn it. I think that's a pretty fair thing to know. Can you where are we at? Can you assign variables to your... Are we down further? No, we shouldn't be down too far. In our inventory, maybe I don't have them all in here. Can we assign variables? Alright, so can you assign variables to your servers in your inventory? Do you know how to do that? Yeah, Killa, a lot of the stuff, it's like eating an elephant. You just got to do it one bite at a time. Alright, we're going to let that keep going. I'm going to go back to building my labs out. I'm getting my labs up to many pages, so that's good. And yeah, we're just going to hang out here. I might have to go grab food here soon. Oh, let me stop that other thing from running. 1 second here. Don't need that running anymore. So what's this next one? Can you assign variables to your server in an inventory? So if we cat Etsy Ansible hosts, right? Down there is our servers, and I could add, if I wanted to, inventory right here. I can just say, I go to the right here and just say, I don't know, something like data equals true, right? True. And then when we now, if we go and we hit all of our servers, where's our Control-Shift-R? Now we could go and look at setup of all of our servers. So this is going to hit every server in our environment and dump all the information. This is going to be so much information, it's not even going to be funny. It's going to dump so much information to our screen as it gets information back from this stuff. And then we come up here and we could go find... Oh look, SE Linux is running. That's fun, right? Because we are running SE Linux in our environment, right? Shit. Sorry guys, it's like jumping around on me too much. I hate that when the terminal won't just do what I want it to do. There's our SE Linux stuff. But anyways, this variable that we just assigned to all of our nodes is called data true. So if we go to Ansible, and these are all in alphabetical order, so there's all our Ansible stuff. And then there should be an Ansible underscore. And I want to say it's local, but I might be wrong. No, it's not Ansible underscore local. Let's just try this. We could always just cheat and do Linux outside of Ansible, but then we'll be cheating. Gonna be taking a Linux course next semester that I'm looking forward to. Nice, Killa. Yeah, hopefully that works out for you. Oh, probably because it's not in data. It's not actually in the setup because it's already there. Okay, well, that's fine. The point is we could use that variable if we needed to. All right, this one talks a little bit about ad hoc. So this one gets a little more complex, and then that might be a little small, but these are just questions about could you do a bunch of these different ad hoc commands and run things against your different servers. So in our environment, we do that like this. Control R, and then let's say uptime. And here we can run individual ad hoc commands. I'm using shell to hit all the servers for their uptime. to see what servers are in our environment are up and which ones are not. And we're going to find that Rocky 16 and 19 are busted. So I need to maybe go figure out what's wrong with those servers, because obviously people use the servers and do whatever they're doing with them. So maybe I need to work on them or fix them or whatever. All right. You guys are handling that over there. I'm going to go back over here and keep working on my lab stuff. So my next one is going to be checking out the cluster. So that was all my Prometheus stuff. So I might have to add okay. Gotta add alerting. Also, I missed whatever happened, but I missed something happening, and it's not telling me here. But hopefully, this stuff's still useful to you guys. Okay. Yeah, what the hell? It's not showing up in my notices. Whatever just happened. So that's a little weird. All right. Anyways, let's Control C this and Control V, and this will be alerting. Check out alerting. Can you connect to all your servers and get an uptime? What does that look like? And I think that, let's see if I see it over here. Ah, yeah, can we connect all the servers and get an uptime? There you go, right there. Can you connect to get a server and get all their facts? There you go. Grab all their facts. So the answers are on the questions are on the top left, the answers are on the bottom left. And if you don't see an answer for something, let me know so I can scroll down to it, because I am working in a different window, so it is possible that I'm missing things. Restart numbering all over again. Alright. Is everybody working on it? Is everybody here still working, or are you guys off for the day? Anybody here working all night like I'm gonna be? I'm just hammering through this. I'm just getting this stuff done. Because the wife's still out of town, so that means I don't really have much else to do. I could also switch over, something I could show you guys later is that I have all my stuff to set up for the course tomorrow still. I have the labs and stuff all written for you guys that are doing the systems administration course, but I do need to prep my discussion questions and some of the other stuff still. So I've been building those as we go. I have a general idea of what those will be, but adding more to them. Doing some home lab planning for the course project. Nice, Nezler. Yeah. That's the goal, right? Get you guys doing this stuff. Maybe make it professional. Working all night. Also some workscapes. What's a wordscape? Is that like a game for obviously some kind of wordsmithing or something? But is that a? I'm not sure if I'm familiar with wordscapes. Not right off, anyways. Yeah, X1. I'm definitely gonna be working all night. Although I'm gonna probably grab some food here in a little bit. I haven't eaten anything since morning, so maybe I've been doing that kind of lately, just kind of working through and kind of going. Popular lightweight mobile game steals your time but keeps the brain moving. Yeah, that's actually good. I like that. I have a few little games I play that are like that. Don't take too much of our time up, but kind of keep us going a little. All right. So, um, let's make sure that our syslog is running on the cluster. That's always important if you're going to be doing whatever. So it's funny, this environment that I'm working in, if I'm not using it for so long, it'll kick me out. So I always know if I've been messing around too long. Because if I'm messing around, it kicks me out. So now I go over here and our syslog. Our syslog is running. And then after we verify that it's running, check the relevant Etsy rsyslog.conf. So, actually, I could probably set this configuration up to be the same in my home lab too, and show you guys that sometime. But yeah, rsyslog will alert everything if you want it to, and send data from your different clustered nodes back to one centralized location, right? And then check out cluster logging is, in my case, how we kind of do that. So check storage of logs. Actually, we can just do check storage of logs, and then we could ls, so check logs are there. Okay. Do you see the gateway devices? That's always important to note. Is there going to be there are enough stores for logs? Let's see. All right. So we're definitely going to have enough space there. All right, we're all the way up to, oh wow, we're all the way up to 5, which is playbook staging files. So I need to come down here. Why might the checksum... So let me see, why might we checksum a file before we stage it? Does anybody know? I mean, if you've been around, you probably know why that's true, but for people that haven't been around, like, do you know why we checksum a file before we stage it somewhere or before we use it? Like, why is it just a good check to kind of know what's going on in the system? All right. So, okay. Probably verify its integrity. Yeah, because like other people in your organization may change things about your system. And I've had that happen before, where I was building servers, and over the course of 2 weeks of me building these servers out back when we did them by hand, somebody had changed their script a few times and these servers came out differently. So then when I started writing the Ansible playbooks for everything, I just made sure that like the packages I was pulling down had not changed. And then I knew for sure that this was going to be the exact same server every time. And if somebody went in and changed my package, because I would show my engineers how to do that, all I needed was for them to let me know so I could take it back through the pipeline, make sure that it works in some of our different environments, and then kind of go from there. Change management's a massive problem. It's even worse if you don't know changes are occurring. If you don't know things are happening and you're just trying to figure out what's going on, it can really give you a little bit of a problem. All right, so I am over here setting up. There's werewolf. Setting up these things, and then SSH to this node, and this guy, where is it? I gotta use them more. Yeah, Chris, one of the things about change management that I always tell people is, yeah, change management can definitely be a headache as an engineer, but if you learn how to kind of ride it and learn how to like be on top of the wave, like I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen somebody surf, but the person who's on top of the wave riding it looks to me like they're having a way better time than the person that's tumbling down underneath the wave and like trying to get back up to the surface, right? So it's something to think about. Where's this log? So make sure it's running. Verify the config to send UDP back to Yeah, all this stuff is it's one of my favorite sayings, and I think it might be across the bottom of the screen there. Yeah, it's going right now. In fact, experience is the hardest teacher. It gives the test first and the lesson after. So like if you're learning stuff through experience, you're experiencing it and going through it, and then you're learning your lessons later. And that to me is always better to pick up your experience from other people who have been through it, right? Like it's easier. It's an easier way to live than just letting the systems kick your ass and all that kind of stuff. This is a file controlled by overlay. So I'm grabbing my config files. Alright. We're back in the progress quest. Alright. Can you push a playbook, or can you write a playbook that pushes a file to all servers? I'm trying to see if I have. I don't know where I'm at in these. Did I get much further? I don't think I'm that far yet. I need to put some I think I need to add some little guideposts in here for me so I know where we're at, because can you write a playbook that pushes a file to all servers? I don't see that in here anywhere. I do not see that in here anywhere. So I guess can write a playbook that executes a command on all servers and stores it as a variable. Yeah, where the hell is all this at? Guys, I don't even know where I'm at in my own notes here now. I'm confused. So we did all the ad hoc stuff, so now we're down in the playbooks. Can you write a playbook that executes a command on all servers and stores it as a variable? Well, as such we can, but where the heck is that? Alright, this is bugging me. Can you debug a variable in a playbook? Alright, let's go look for that one. There's a debug. Man, I don't know how I got to this down here in these notes from that. I don't know how the hell I got to this. Alright, well, keep answering those questions if you can, I guess, but... Oh, I could search that, but, I mean, but the point is, these should all be lining up because I wrote all these and I did all these notes as we did them. So, I don't know why these aren't here. Can you debug a variable in a playbook? Yeah, that's not, I mean, that's not... It's not quite what we want to see there. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, let me get back to the stuff I'm doing over here. You guys can keep... If nothing else, you could at least write those notes down. Those are also all up in the Discord. But you could say, hey, do I know how to debug a variable? And if you don't, that's something to go look up, right? Something to go figure out a little more. Alright. So now what I'm doing on this other screen you guys can't see is doing all the formatting for all the commands I'm running. Which is a lot of commands. Now I gotta go back up to the networking. Show version, show running. I gotta go check a command. In here. Show running. Config. Rolling right along. Gotta set up the alerting, gotta set the cluster, gotta set the Kubernetes checkout in the system, right? Because we're always running Kubernetes somewhere, no matter what. Can you debug a variable, but only at a verbosity of 2? Well, at least we're back on track here now. So what does it mean to write out only at a verbosity of level 2? What does that look like? Can you guys write that into a playbook if you were doing this? And then what does that mean, right? What does it mean to debug a variable in general inside of Ansible, right? And if you need that answer, if you're struggling with that or you need help with that, these follow along heavily with my labs. So there's a bunch of labs that are just hands-on on Killer Coda that kind of just drop you in and make you start doing Ansible. You're doing it in a safe environment that the worst thing you could do is break 2 virtual machines that are going to get broken when you shut them down anyway, so it doesn't matter. That's the best type of environment to just practice things and see what happens, you know? So, alright. I am back over here doing my setup. Getting my labs further along. This is pretty much what I'm gonna be doing most of the night too. So yeah, this is our Friday afternoon here, guys. This is what we do. Alright, where are we at then? Looks like our guy's still leveling up over there. That's always good. And I need to start doing... Well, I'm going to get to my werewolf stuff after I do my Kubernetes stuff. So, I'm going to go stretch my legs and walk out for a second. Walk around for a minute or two. So, if anybody needs me for anything, ask questions. Otherwise, the Jinja templating is the next section. And we're just going to keep rolling on through. What arguments? Yeah, so there's many questions there that are for you to think about as you're doing Ansible, right? What is a Jinja? Yeah, a bottle of beer later. What's a Jinja template? How does it work? All right, I'll be back. Yeah, King Buns. Templates are big. Can you create a file on each node with 3 variables from gather facts? I think some of these, now that I look at them, I'm pretty sure some of these were directly us doing them in the lab, so that's probably why. But that's why some of these things don't directly map back down here. But could you create a file on each node with 3 variables from gather facts? I think most people could do that. It looks like this, you would just grab the variables that are there and set them to a Jinja file, and you would stamp them. Yep, syntax for that. How do we do control structures in Jinja? And I don't think I give an example down here of it, but Jinja is very important, and there's 2 labs that I have that show you how to do Jinja templating from nothing. If you just struggle with Jinja, or you've never even heard of it, it's just it's a template. It's very similar. It looks a lot like you're just dropping in a. Let me pull it up in my other thing here for you guys. It just kind of looks like you're doing. Let me jump to one of my other environments here. Oops. Let's see one that I have that shows this. So our daily system check, which is actually what runs into our system every morning through our, if any of you guys have seen our sandbox channel, 6 a.m. every morning for me, this runs. It looks like this: CD to roles, CD into our daily system check, and then in here in our tasks, main.yaml is my how I go and I gather all the stuff that I need. And then in my templates, if you're keeping track, we're pretty far down here. Here's my daily system check. This is what writes out every day. Actually, this may be a slightly different one because I don't think I have server versions of OpenSSH on there. But this is an example of a Jinja template, and it looks kind of complex until you dig into it and you go, that's really not that hard. It's just going to be us. This is very similar, guys, this is very similar to if we were sitting around. Let me move this over just a little bit. Hold on. You guys can see that better. But this is very similar to like if we were sitting around and doing like those ad libs or mad lib type things where we wanted to hang out with our buddies, and our friend was like, okay, give me a verb and give me a noun, and then you're like, oh, it's a banana runs, you know, whatever. You just give a bunch of different things, and then they tell you a funny story from it, right? And that's the same thing here. These variables that you're calling just by a couple of open curly and closed curly brackets or braces, whatever you want to call them, they just get dropped in on execution time. And then it gets kind of easier, because while it seems complex, unreachable systems here is really just us looping over a variable with a counting. This is a counting variable, so we're going over a counting loop, as it were. And then I'm just looking if it's not in, if the variable is here, or if the value of the variable at that point is here and not here, then it's going to print it. So this is just a way to test. There's also an easier test, but I always forget the Python filter. There's a Python filter that just tests things between two systems. So anyways, that's something for you guys to look at. And then this one gets a little more complex. It looks for things that are greater than 90 days. If the uptime is there, and then I take the standard out and I look for an integer greater than 90, right? Because we're treating that string, we're passing that string through a filter to be an integer, because technically whatever I got out of that uptime.std out, which was a shortened version of the overall system, overall output anyways, is actually technically a string. So you can't do a comparison against a string. You can't say, is a string bigger than 90? Your system would be like, I don't know what to do with that, buddy. But if you turn it into an integer because you happen to know it's going to be a number, basically this is a filter to make it an integer, then it'll treat it like an integer over here. And if it's greater than 90, then we can say servers that have been up greater than 90 days. So, you know, this stuff is all shoots and ladders. Things point to other things, and we just, this is what we do. We build these systems out. All right. All right, so checking out the cluster logging, making sure that cluster logging is happening. Okay. I got to check out alerting next, so that's going to be a big part of this. All right. Guys, I'm just putting more and more content together so that when I'm doing that 32 hours worth of training, I have something for the guys to do. I don't want to be stuck not being able to keep them busy, right? Keep them busy, but also with productive things. So I'm building that over in my other window, so you guys are welcome to kind of hang out while I'm doing that. So I need to go over here, and I need to look at my so 1617, that makes this one 18, and then we're gonna need a 19. Wait, do we need a 19? Nah, we don't need a 19. We might need a 19. So I'm going through my labs for day 1, and I'm up to 18. So I'm at 8 total labs for them to do, which will hopefully keep them mildly busy. Right, gotta keep everybody doing stuff and learning stuff. That's the goal. I didn't even include that log. All right. What else do we have here? Adding a few more because I worry that I'm going to run out of stuff for these guys to do. 32 hours is a long time of training, guys. That's a lot of training. It's a lot of system stuff to do, and a lot of make sure that this is getting populated. Where are we at? Oh, we're at API usage. So APIs, man, Ansible and APIs for me have been just, they've been pretty good to me. Like, I've been able to use it for a lot of really interesting things in my career and my time using it, it's not the only way to hit an API. There's all kinds of tools that'll hit an API for you. But if you're already using Ansible for your configurations and your different stuff that's out there, and can I give you guys, I'll give you guys, if anybody wants to try this, and if anybody tells me that they tried it and then you tell me you struggled with it, I will do this one live for you guys later if you want. But if you say, Scott, that one was too hard, I think the most complex lab that I've built is this one right here. I'm gonna link it to you guys here. I don't think anybody can't do it. I think you guys all can do it. I think it's just maybe one of the more complex ones, and it is this one right here. So it's reading secrets with Ansible. If any of you guys want to try that, and then if you have questions here, or if you have questions down in the oh, hold on a second. Are those not updating? Those should definitely be updating. It's going to be super annoying if those aren't updating. Hold on. That's embarrassing. Anyways, so hopefully you guys are seeing those, but yeah, if you want to try that one, again, I don't think it's overly complex, like somebody couldn't do it. I think that there's some challenges there for you guys to think about. And if that's something that is interesting to you, or you want to ask questions about it, just let me know, and I'll pull it up, and we'll go do it. We'll go dig in on it. All right. All right. So SA log is a restart and a restart. All right, there we go. Yeah, and that lab, you go and you take a token. So you're doing what the heck's the name of that? What's that acronym for when you take? Well, it's a JOT or a JWT, right? A Java Web Token. But what's the name of that when you take one of those? What's the name of that? OAuth. It's an OAuth token, right? So you may create courses on O'Reilly, LinkedIn, and other platforms. I could, Maya or Mara. I'm trying to keep stuff as free as possible, and I think Killer Coda is really excellent for giving you guys access to things for free. And then, if people want to spend money and people want to do subs and all that kind of stuff, they can. But I don't want anybody to feel like they have to do that stuff, I want this stuff to be, I'd rather somebody go and get good at this stuff for free, and then like flip me a nickel as they walk out the door and pick their hat up and their coat off the coat rack, than to charge people for my info. Because I've often jokingly, but only kind of jokingly, said, as long as I'm the best I know, I'm just gonna wait for one of these youngins to push me off the top spot at what I do, and then I'll retire and go do something else. But I know that's the most Chad thing you're gonna hear from me all day, but it's actually pretty funny that I think like that. But you know what? Let me move. I need to move these in front. Hold on. I gotta find out why. I am gonna move this in front of the ticker, and I'm gonna move the other one in front of the ticker too. Where's the other one? So I don't understand though why the other one's not in front of the ticker. Oh, maybe it was because above it. Okay, that's fair enough. I guess I could technically move it down a little bit, so it doesn't look like that. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. That was really bugging me earlier why that was like that. I'm just gonna move it down, so then it looks better for me as far as the ticker goes. I didn't like how that was looking before, but yeah, I'm trying to make stuff, Mara, kind of like just simple for people. Quartz, can I tell you the best steak I've ever had in my life? This is actually funny because so when I was in the Army, I was an infantry guy. So, you know, I go in, I get my we don't have to go talking too much about that stuff, but I kicked off Iraq in 2003, right? So I was there at the beginning of the war. And when I was going to leave there, I was in a base getting ready to fly out in a C-130, and there was a cook there who said, "Let me cook you a steak." And I said, "Well, I'm going to be honest. I've been eating Army food for over 4 years now, and it's always been terrible. And you cooks are the worst." And he goes, No, hold on. Let me cook you a steak." He goes, you got to remember, everything I do has to be to the lowest common denominator. I have to cook to the widest range of palates that are out there. So I can't season meat. I can't make the eggs good. I have to make it to the lowest common denominator. He goes, "But let me cook a steak for you." And I said, "Okay." And I remember he fried it in a pan, which I know you can sear steak in a pan and then cook it. And I don't know what else he did. I just saw him start out in a pan. But I'm going to tell you, to this day, and this wasn't just because I was in a war, and this wasn't just because I was getting out and leaving there, but that to this day is still the best steak I've ever had. So, like, and I eat steak, you know, I'll eat a steak, like a nice steak once a month or so. Me and the wife like to go out. There's also a couple of Brazilian steakhouses by us, which if you guys have never had like a Brazilian cookout, it is absolutely insanity. Yeah, it was a free steak. That's true too. But this guy, he made me the best steak ever. And so there was a joke when I was in the Army. We were sitting around one time, a bunch of us guys. We were out in the field, and there were a couple cooks with us. Which, if you guys know anything about infantry culture, we call other people pogues, which are people other than grunts. It's a derogatory term. It's not nice, but this thing infantry guys do. And I remember this one cook told us. He goes, "Infantry or cook basic is harder than infantry basic." And we were like, "All right, well, I guess so." And he goes, "Well, no, seriously, more people wash out of cook basic than they do other basic trainings." And we're like, "Oh, that's interesting." And he goes, and then one of my buddies, I wish I could take credit for this. I did not say this. One of them did. He goes, wait, hold on. You're telling me people get kicked out of the Army in like cooking school? And he's like, "Yeah, more than any other." And we're like, no. So one of my friends said, "Hold on a second. How do you get kicked out of chef school? Does a drill sergeant come over and go, 'This food is hot and tasty, not in my Army,' and kicks you out because you're good at what you do?" I don't know. I always thought that was funny. But all right, I'm messing around too much. I got labs to write, so let's see. Check the status. Let's go over here. Check the status of all nodes. And then it was a really good steak. It was. That was probably my favorite one. But again, every one of you guys are welcome to just hang out. We got the Discord. Discord's much more persistent. You come on, you hang out with a stream, you watch videos later. There's no like give and take. There's no back and forth. I think that there's actually guys down right now. If you go down in our Discord, I'm pretty sure they're down there studying right now. No, they're all done studying. But I've actually got a study session with one of the guys in about 40 minutes, so I'm going to have to hop off of here. What cut was the steak? You know what, King Buns? I couldn't even tell you. I'm pretty sure it was a T-bone. There was definitely a bone in it, so I'm pretty sure it was a T-bone. It's funny. I come from a long line of, like, my family has many people in it that were butchers, and there were many people in my family who did like actual, working in like the big meat houses back in Michigan and stuff, but I am not one of them. Yeah, King Buns, you should, man. Like if Fisherman hadn't dropped off, I would have raided him earlier. And yeah, if you start streaming, man, let me know. Well, there's two reasons to let us know. One, we'll add you into the little bot that alerts people, so it'll let the Discord know when you're streaming. And then two, no, King Buns, I think you should do it. And then two, yeah, we can raid over to you. It gives us a place to raid, especially. Look, if you're already working and you're doing a lot of little side stuff, you should do it, man. I really do think you are. Especially like you and Fisherman are both younger than me, so you guys know all the riz and all the terminology. I'm just kidding. I don't talk like that bullshit. I don't think if I was 20 I would talk like that still, but it's kind of funny. So, anyways, but yeah. But King Buns, you could always, work on stuff and then just have other things that are kind of going as well. You're allowed to, generally speaking, get away with a lot of that stuff. But just, I think I've picked up a lot of stuff from streaming. I'm not terribly great at the layout and stuff, but I can at least figure some things out now on this. I mean, I've always been decent with technology, but I'm also like overly lazy about fixing little stuff. So then I don't fix the little things, But yeah, I think it would be good if you did that, because you'll find that people really just want permission to do something. Like, I guarantee everybody sitting around that can watch me for more than 5 minutes can do this Linux stuff. It's just not everybody kind of wants to do it, Not everybody wants to dig in and spend time. That's just a thing that I've noticed. Alright, so I'm gonna go grab a bunch of test things here. Can't Twitch it for company reasons. I could Discord it. I would Twitch other personal stuff. Yeah. Well, King Buns, you're definitely, I think you're in a category too, like the other guys are, where you can make events. So you should check that in Discord and let me know if you don't have the capability. But I'm pretty sure everybody that's one of the ProLug engineers, which you are, I'm pretty sure you have the ability to go up and just make events if you want to. By the way, guys, we hit 202. We're at 202 people doing the Linux Systems Administration course. I don't know that everybody's going to finish it, but people are down there hanging out and doing it, so that's kind of cool. Wait, so we're down at create users now, so let me go find... You've executed the playbook. Oh, so this one is just lab 13. Oh, so some of these I think we just jumped into labs, so these may just be go do the lab and then you'll get more context from it from there. So yeah, King Buns, I think more people would be interested in watching a software developer actually problem solve things than a lot of stuff. Some of the more popular guys that I've seen on Twitch are just sitting there doing problem solving and how they look things up and all that stuff. That's definitely because like I tell people all the time, you guys, the logic of, like, when I show people systems logic, right? I'm like, I know that logic, because if you didn't, you couldn't drive to school. You couldn't drive yourself around. You would have crashed on the way over here. That's why we used to always tell my college students, I'm like, you can't um, you couldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to drive over here. You would have crashed. So, I know people can do the logic. They don't always have the confidence. Yeah, because you would come to your first stoplight, you would just crash into it because you wouldn't know how to stop. All right, hold on. I'm doing something, so I'm. All right. Got that all going. Got that going. Ah, we're all the way up to packaging. Yeah, I feel like all this stuff is. I think my notes are way off from what's going on over there. So anyways, I'll leave that up. Have I started sysadmin career after Army? Yeah. So Mara, I did Army for 4 years, 3 months, and 6 days. I was stop lost for the convenience of the U.S. Army, and then they kept me to send me to Iraq. And then I got out in 2003 after doing about 6 months over there. And then I came home and yeah, I started working. I had my CCNA already, so I could program the crap out of routers and switches, but I didn't know anything about network. I didn't know anything about the devices that connected to the network. So what I tell people is when I got my CCNA, I did not know what a server was. I did not. Like, no joke. I was the guy in the barracks that had the computer and I was always messing around and stuff, but I really didn't know what a server was. I couldn't tell you from just a normal computer. Like, I couldn't tell you the things that kind of differentiated it besides maybe like some basic little terminology. So, you know, I got into, I got out of the Army and I got into, I was a local area network technician for a school district. In fact, it's where I met my wife. I always joke around that when my wife met me, I had just gotten out of the Army and I had a six-pack. I do not have a six-pack anymore. But I always joke around about how, like, when I opened the doors to the help desk, because it's, like, at the front of the building, how, like, she saw me framed in light as I walked in and stuff. I'm also, you know, very, very full of myself. But anyways, no, so the wife, you know, and then we got married many years later. But so what was I thinking about that? Something else about that was related. Oh yeah. Anyway, so then I didn't should have taken 2 wives while you had 6 pack. Yeah. So Mara, it's funny you say that. When we were in Iraq, there were quite a few guys over there who had multiple wives. Not in the military, but the locals. So that was kind of an interesting thing. You know, you read about it or you hear about it, but you don't necessarily see it until you're over there. You know. So that was interesting. That was an interesting thing to deal with. Get several chicks next year. Well, I just want the one, so that all I need is the one, and she's enough of a handful. Even though it's funny, 2 official wives and a couple babies. Okay, fair enough. No, my wife is actually out of town for like 3 more days. She'll be back, I think, on Sunday night, early Monday, somewhere in there, and then she'll be back. She's been on a trip with one of her friends back east. And I've just been kind of hanging out and working on a lot of Linux stuff, a lot of lab resources, a lot of build out of this stuff. Let me go find. Man, I got a lot of stuff to add to this book. Lots of stuff, guys. Lots of work. I'm going to be working all night on this stuff. But I might take a break for a little bit. And, I do have to get off of here for a little bit to talk to somebody. How about this, guys? I'm going to find somebody to raid. And I thought I was going to raid Fisherman earlier, but he had gotten off. Let's go find somebody to raid. We'll go to our end of stream. I'll be back on later, guys. I expect to be streaming most of the night. But I'll make you guys a deal. I'll at least be on camera. How's that? I'll at least turn my camera on because I've just been kind of streaming the last few days without it because I've been so busy. But let's go find somebody over on the Twitch side that we can raid. Who's online doing stuff that I'm following? Let's see. Oh, We got Practical on. Practical's always fun. We got Clonk. Clonk is on. We got Rossberger on, and we got Rob on. So Rob is great, and Rob does software and development mostly. He's only been up for those hours or those minutes. It's interesting. I don't know if those are hours or I guess those are hours. But let's go. Who to raid? It's so much fun. You know, we're gonna raid the guy who I think will be technical but also fun. We'll go hit up Practical. So if you guys don't know Practical, he's a great streamer. It looks like he's out dancing or something like that right now. We'll go hit him up. You guys on YouTube, I appreciate you guys coming by, and we'll get back around to this later. So I will talk to you guys that want to hang out later on tonight. Take care.